executive board meeting Thursday, January 25th, and the time is 6:09 p.m. Trustee Muse? Here. Trustee Smith is absent. Trustee McFadden? Here. Trustee Tyson is absent. Trustee Mitchell is absent. And Trustee Webster?
Here.
Also present is Village Clerk Juanita Darden, Village President / Mayor Fitzgerald Roberts, Police Chief Lynette Smith, Corporation Counsel Vaselli,
Hello.
HR says Treasurer McCaskill, Code Enforcement Mr. Butler, and CDBG Director John Thompson. And we have a host Al Kendall here and Key Money on recorder. Okay, wait, you gonna see if it works. Got the Pledge of Allegiance next.
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Butler, could you read us into prayer?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gathering. We thank you for the host, the village president, and the board. We thank you for the ability to come together, to touch and agree. We ask that you be with us in all the decisions, that we do all things decently and in Jesus' name. Amen.
Next on the agenda, we have discussion of bill January 9, 2024, and amendment January 25, 2024. We carried the bill over from the last special meeting on last Friday.
So, yeah, there was some questions on the bills list, and the one bill that I have in question is the Southwestern Illinois College, which was for Police Academy. And I don't know if I'm sorry. You recognize? Excuse me.
Trustee, Trustee.
Okay, well, I just started speaking and okay. Yeah, that was the bill that I had a question, was the Southwestern Illinois College for $1,500. And I want to say that was for training for Police Academy. And I want to say that it's for an officer that we just recently sworn in. So I don't know if maybe the chief can speak to that.
Yes, ma'am. What is that question?
Well, the fact that we sent someone, and I thought we kind of agreed that that was everyone else that we brought in, we weren't sending anyone. So I don't know if there's a reimbursement situation happening, if that was part of the agreement.
Okay, first and foremost, I'm not sure of any agreements. I do know, yes, we recently just rehired Terrell Davis back, I'm sure that's who you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yes, so one of the conditions for him to become active again, he had to go through a transition course through SWIC. They are one of the lower cost, the cheaper departments. It was a 2-week course, which even if we were to send a new person to the academy, it would be the $1,500 that we had a rookie, which just recently graduated in December. So all I know is yes, there was agreement with the board, as agreement with the mayor, and we can bring him back on board, which we did. I'm not sure how much it would cost to send back to the academy. Of course, once we receive the invoice, that's how much it was. Spoke with treasurer, HR, just to ask if it's still kind of within my budget, within the police department, which I believe that it is. So it's not often that we're usually sending people to the academy. I think he's the second person that we had to spend $1,500 on. The only was Parliament Reed that I'm aware of right now. Everybody else, pretty much, like you said, already state certified. To reduce them to training, it's usually maybe like $50 here and there.
Right, and I understand we have to do reoccurring training for people that took their certifications.
certification, right? It was the same thing for Terrell, so, not that it was a surprise, you know, of the amount, but it's something that we knew that he was gonna have to go back through the training per the board, so that he can still be able to practice law within the state of Illinois. Okay, can I ask you a question?
Well, no, yes and no, it does, but it doesn't because, I didn't know, I wasn't aware, and I don't know about the rest of the board, that we send anyone, so I guess that's the real question. 'Cause as far as I knew, we were finished with anyone else that needed to have extensive training. That was a issue that we had dealt with in the past, and we were,
There have been conversations that I wasn't aware of, because when you just mentioned it, you said there was agreement. My job and my objective is to make sure everybody's trained properly, but at the same time, you know, focus on the budget. So if I was aware of that, then it's something that possibly could have had, you know, before even taking the first steps.
okay, well, I guess the fact that it's done now, so.
So what we do, Chief, what we need to do, you know, when it's a transitional course that costs, you know, that run us to that particular price, you know, we'll need to know about what the electricity. Transition course, I ain't know what's gonna cost that, but, you know, we'll go from there. Yeah, Trustee McFadden.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I understand the part that they went through the training. My question is this retraining, is it a transitional training, or is this a new training? I mean, because if it's retraining, they should do that themselves. If it's additional training that we're requiring, then I can understand us paying for it. But for retraining or a refresher, that should be on them, not on the village.
Correct. So
So
any
which
training,
one is this?
excuse me, Trump. So any training still falls on the village. We take the vicarious liability for sending officers to training, to make sure they're up to standards of the state of Illinois and federal guidelines. The good thing is we're part of NEMARC, which we send most of our officers to training. Now, some training do require for us to go outside of NEMARC. And through NEMARC, sometimes there are some additional charges. Those are the ones that like maybe $75 and $50. But to answer your question, this was it's called transitional course. It's 80 hours. So it's not like it's a refresh or anything like that, but it is something that is mandated by the state. So, but the name of the course is transitional course.
Transitional.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what, so what we have to do is just be more aware of that, because I know the state training board, they done got real strict on the guys now. And they require them to do more stuff now than what they usually, you know, have guys to do now. They're much more strict and it's much more different classes and courses that these guys have to take. And then, like you said, this NEMAR, you're gonna have some courses where guys gonna have to take as far as like, you know, for the mental health, you know, to help out with the guys that they arrest that's mentally ill and have, you know, different issues going on with them. It's like similar to the one issue we just have to involve with the kids with tasing thing, you know, the kid had AED, all that extra stuff going on. So, you know, it's something that our officers, they're going to go through a lot of that type of training to keep us out of harm's way being soon. There's going to be a lot more training and so forth. We're going to have to see what we can get help with NEMAR and all them before we go out.
Most of them, I usually find the free courses, but some things, if the state comes back and says, this officer has to take this course or that course. You have no other way around it. So we can't, you know, pick and choose. As I'm speaking, I'm pulling up the types of training that we have to take. So I have my entire roster right here. I won't go to my name specifically, just to name some of the courses that we have to take. So, civil rights, constitutional use of law enforcement authority, crisis intervention, cultural competency, de-escalation techniques, emergency medical response training certification, firearms restraining order act, high-risk traffic stops, human rights, law concerning stops, searches, and the use of force, legal updates, officer safety techniques, including cover, concealment, and time, officer wellness, mental health, which Mayor just mentioned, procedural justice, psychology of domestic violence, reporting of child abuse and neglect, and last but not least, sexual assault trauma informed response. So just read off a list of training that every officer within the state of Illinois is mandated to take. And Terrell Davis, because he did come back to the Village Additional Police Department, he was forced to have to take that transitional course that included every single one of those classes instead of one at a time. So they just said, hey, take this right here and get it out the way, one time, 80-hour course. So he's done. So any class that he may need now, he take on his own online or outside the guys up, take classes and whatnot. But 9.5 times out of 10, they are free. Every once in a while, we do get this situation where we have to, retrain since somebody did a course. But it's only because the board is saying, hey, you have to do this. So if there's an option, trust me, I wouldn't choose it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we have 18 different certifications. Every officer must have every year. Trustee, I want you conscious of that.
I mean, if it's budgeted and,
Mr. Butler.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you go. Okay, so we're gonna build this. So Luke,
Okay, I have a question on the tri-county board ups. What did we have to board up for $620?
That's probably the bills that we had over the last maybe 2 years. We've done numerous vacant buildings, houses, and they have come out. I think we've only did one check to them in the last 2 years that I've been over 2 years.
Okay, because their bill only has one date on it, which is December 22nd.
We did itemize it.
And it's not itemized, it's just that one date and $620.
it's probably, it's probably to add up over of all the ones you've been boarding up, because I know we have had few homes boarded up.
He has quantity 1. First floor opening. And that's on one day.
I think it was a duplicate of that, and I did look, there was 2 for 620, but one had an address attached to it.
This one has this address.
Now you got quantity 8.
Yes,
Because he's
look at the
really-
first one. What do you say?
So
The first one is for $100.
No, so here it is. It was the service date was December 22nd, 2023. It was for the property of 14127 South Wood Street. The service charge was $100, and we had to pay for the plywood, which was 8 pieces for $65, which came up to $520, a grand total of $620. The reason why I
So
said
it's not itemized.
the reason why I said both because the first one didn't have an address and the second one did, but it's the same
Okay.
invoice number,
I
4450.
noticed it didn't have.
Okay.
Okay, because I was wondering, because when I read this one, I'm like.
What's that address
itemized,
again?
it's-
14127 South Wood.
That's what we need. You
So
know,
we're attaching,
I need you.
What, 141?
Mr. Butler.
Yeah,
See
14127
what?
South Wood.
You know where I'm going, right?
Yeah, you're gonna ask
So,
Mr.
so I need
Butler to
Mr.
follow up.
Butler to do a follow-up on that, and get it over to, the attorney. It would be place that bill on that particular house.
Attach the lien on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
What we do.
Will do.
Yeah, cause that's the way we're gonna start doing it. All them houses that we hear boarded up,
And we should
we
have
gotta,
a little
we need to attach it over.
administrative cost.
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. I agree.
I think we got some, we cut the grass on it.
Yeah, but this boiler is different.
Yeah, it costs us much more. So, the bill is really for motion for the bill.
Well, hold on, we gotta, I want to add to make sure we get the grand total. So with the grand total is $229,161.35.
Say again, 229.
229.
$229,161.35.
That's, excuse me, that's amended from the previous?
Yes. So the previous bill list was
225.
225.11.35. There was an increase, roughly $1,000. So the grand total is $229,161.35.
Okay, and the increases,
I increased, I got invoices from Fred. I sent those off as soon as I got them. I emailed to everyone.
emails down.
I received it, I was unable to open it.
It's a zip drive, it's like 6 invoices.
Right, so
It's down.
I would like us to vote on the bills that we have from the previous meeting.
Sound okay,
If I can
please?
say that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with you. 'Cause I can't look at it, I don't know.
It's gonna be,
Can I ask the treasurer a question? Do you have the number for the prior bills meeting?
Yeah, I just read it off, 200.
Oh, that's what it was? I'm sorry, I thought that was a new one. I
No,
thought it was-
so the old bill list was 225,112.35.
And that's the last bill list?
No,
Which everybody has-
that was the bill list from the meeting for
The
Tuesday.
previous meeting.
There was an increase
Yeah.
for 229,161.35.
So an increase of $4,000 approximately?
Roughly $4,000.
Okay. And
so, I mean, I don't care voting it, but I will say this on record. When you don't vote for people who did the work, and you got the equipment, and paid for the equipment and all that, then your work is going to stop. Right now, we having a problem with our system. Can't afford for that work to stop. Our system been down now for about 2 or 3 days because we had to get switches and everything over here. So, again, it's up to you all.
I can't see voting for something that could be anything. I mean, I don't have a clue what's
All right,
one
so what is the motion? Because I mean, again, now, when you don't pay the people for their work, and they walk out, because they ain't getting paid, then the village gonna crash. Just letting you know that now. Gonna end up like Dalton over there. When they not paying the people that's doing the work, and it's crashing. People is walking off the job and everything now. So you play with it, and you can't get mad at no one when they don't do the work. When they walk off, you can't get mad at them. They ain't get paid, you can't get mad at them. Just letting you know that now. You can't get mad at them.
Boss, I understand exactly what you're
So I
saying,
think
but
you
I
is to-
cannot say that it's okay to pay a bill and I don't have a clue of what the bill is.
When the
I mean,
bill is
I
go
don't
up.
know, I can't say okay blindly, I just can't do it.
So I sent out the bills, the additional bills on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024 at 1:50 p.m.
Okay.
And so there was a folder, a zip folder, there was 6 different invoices. So I put in a zip folder, and switch the zip folder, open it up, and you can review the bills and print off if you like.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion and then y'all can change it around if you want. It's up to you all. I'm looking for a motion to pass the bill list for 229,161.35 cents. I'm looking for their motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Webster.
Okay. A motion died. Next on the agenda, clerk.
Approval of land and property.
Well, hold on, man.
Oh, wait, he said,
Is there-
Listen, we got to prove something because we got to pay.
Okay, well,
Hold
I'm
on,
looking.
we got to pay Harvey. I mean, we got to
Okay,
pay.
I'm looking.
the
Well, here's the thing, McCaskill. Harvey has to get paid. Whether we, hold on. That's a bill that has to get paid by court order. That's a bill where we don't have to vote on it. That's the water bill. That got to get paid. I'm not worried about that one. Now, if y'all want to do a motion for the 225, what was the other number?
11235.
well, you said 225,
11235.
11235.
But I'm gonna tell you, when your phones and stuff is not rolling tomorrow and this building is shut down because ain't nothing going through, I'm letting the trustees know. Please don't call my phone with it. So now we're looking for a motion for 225.113.
Nuh-uh. 225,112.35.
12. So I'm looking for a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Muse, second by trustee Webster. Trustee Muse,
Yes.
trustee Webster,
Yes.
trustee McFadden,
Yes.
trustee Tyson, trustee Mitchell, and trustee Smith is absent. There's 3 yeas and 3 absent, must vote.
So,
My motion would be to pay all the bills, because see, I've been running around here all week, and part of last week, running with this stuff, with this phones, and this computer, and this internet, and my motion is to pay them all. So, I mean, to me, it's, you know, my motion is to pay all the bills. So,
What you want me to print the invoices out and show them?
you can print it out and give it to them, yeah, and see what they have to say about it, but my motion is to pay.
So can this motion, we pay this and then go back to the main motion?
Well, that's one way you could do it.
Okay, well, we'll do it that way, come on. Next on the agenda.
So do you wanna, are you gonna, so what you could do is this, you
Yes.
could vote on the 225
Okay.
and then
Mine says
you
yes.
could bring out the
Next on the
invoices for the
agenda.
rest of them to see.
Approval of land and property. You need to get back in?
Well, before we go, I just got one thing to say about the mail. So one of our vendors, which is Lexpool, we sent a check out, back July 28th, 2023 for $3,360.20, right? So they contacted me, they contacted Chiefs, and they never got their payment. So we're gonna stop paying them this check and send out another check, replacement check on October 23rd, 2023, check number 200219. But the problem I have is, this check was in July, and we didn't get it back until January. Now, granted, this place is in Texas, but this is just more of an example of how this mail is just, it's very difficult for me to do my job as far as reconciling each month, because we have a lot of outstanding stuff. Last year, we spent about $6,700 in stock payments. It's $30 a pop. So I'm asking that if there's a local vendor, they need to pick their checks up. Or if we deliver, I don't know how we're gonna do it. Out-of-state vendors or vendors away, it's gonna be cheap for us to send it via FedEx, maybe next day or day after, because this is ridiculous. We can't.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with Buzz Ambulance, right? Same thing with Cal Park,
Menards.
Menards. It's I don't get it. It's like, Dalton is like there. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But it's a serious problem with our mail. But this is just one of many, many examples. So now I go back all the way to July to reconcile for this. And here we are in January. Today's the 24th. It's almost impossible. So we gotta come up with a solution. I don't know. We are sending one check via FedEx, and that's to the bank in Chicago for the trust of the water. But that's the only ones that's getting it on time every month. But the rest of our vendors is a problem. And another example is ComEd, right? So ComEd sends us these bills, but by the time they cash the check, right? So just to give you a prime example, we sent a check to ComEd in October. They just cashed it in January. But yet they send us, there's 3 more bills saying they haven't got the money. Does it make sense? So it's almost like, it's almost impossible. It's impossible.
So if you can find a different way of paying them.
Well, I want to do electronic, like we do for Comcast, and like we do for Nightcore. I would want to do an ACH with a special ComEd, because they're killing us. They're killing us. I mean, by the time we get a check from them, a bill from them, they haven't cashed the last 2 months. And by the time they cash that check, now I gotta go through the bills trying to figure out, right, they're trying to figure out who, how, when. This is very difficult, but the mail is still a problem. It actually is worse now than it was during COVID. It's worse now than it was during COVID. So I don't know, and talking to the postmaster in Harvey, maybe we need to get with Robin Kelly and ask for our own zip code. Get our own post office. I'm serious because
We need our own zip code.
Markham doesn't have the same problem. Anybody that has 60426, including Phoenix, is having a monstrous problem with our mail. A problem. You can't even describe it. Anytime something has to come from Harvey, we might get it, we might not get it. But this is a major problem. So now I can go way back in July to reconcile, which I've already reconciled and closed out. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys.
Approval of land and property.
Good evening, Board. Mayor, Clerk, Trustees. Maybe let's let Mr. Buchanan go first so that he can do his presentation. I'm sorry. I'll add your yes.
Okay.
I got the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, what about the mic?
Yeah,
That's okay.
pretend you got one.
Pretend I can do that. I can do just that. Well, first, Happy New Year. I want to thank everyone for letting me come through every once in a while to have a few words to say. I'm happy to say that the village of your village Dixmoor is part of our Build Up Cook, of which we will be willing to assist the village with infrastructure and other related needs. And I think we've been doing that on any number of levels, but the president has really made a commitment to your village and to help service it in terms of whatever needs that you have. And so that program is going to be there for you. You perhaps got the notice, if not, you get it from me tonight on the CDBG application that's been announced. And then there's a new release that you can apply for 2024 for Investing, Cook, and CDBG. So if you have some needs, make sure to get your applications in. There is a workshop on the 31st that you might want to participate in. But again, I'll be sending that to your phone and via email to you. And I believe that's those were the main programs I want to make sure to make an announcement to you about. Tonight, I don't know if many of you know that the president has a radio show. It's every third Sunday. It's on at 7 o'clock a.m. on WCPT 820, and then at 7 o'clock p.m. on WVON. And quite often we have guests that are on that are talking about various opportunities, job programs, and resources for both community as well as municipalities.
What time is going on WBOE?
7 p.m. It's Tony on the 7th, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m.
You said on the third?
Every third Sunday. 7 a.m. on channel 820. And then at night, 7 p.m. on WVON.
How can the mayor be a host?
I can the mayor be a guest?
Yes.
Well, I've been trying to figure that out, actually. I mean, do you have a cable channel here? No?
You good?
You good?
I just threw that out there.
But I think I've had the mayor on the show once before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do plan to have him and some other mayors on, and I'm trying to work that out
Okay.
in terms of how we will do it. In order to have the mayors to come on and do a feature on their village and their town on some important things that they're doing. But I'll probably have to do that by April. I'm probably trying to run that from April through June. So that's my hit parade. I really want to thank you guys for inviting me out. And so-
We'd like to thank you for coming out, and we thank the president for all that you guys are doing. I know every time something goes wrong in town, I get a call from you or from her office, you know, and you guys really helping us out. We appreciate that.
right.
And please let the president know whatever she needs from Dixmoor, that I'll be right there with her. Whatever she needs, me and my team will be right there, willing to jump in the trenches and work with her.
All right. Well,
Whatever she needs.
in an hour when I get off the clock, I'll give you a call.
Appreciate you. No problem. No problem. If you need foot soldiers, whatever.
Whatever.
You good.
All right. I appreciate it, everyone.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Good night.
Al, you stole my show, Al. That wasn't right.
Thank you, sir.
So now I can't do my report.
Yes, sir. We're talking again.
For sure. Well, good evening, everyone. Again, a lot of things are going on in the village this year. We got a CDBG block grant for $400,000 for water line replacement, hydrants, 20, and 10 valves. That's going, the contract should be here this coming week. At the same time, we're applying for hopefully 20 to 30 more hydrants and 20 more valves. If we can control the water in the village of Dixmoor, and we can shut it off in multiple locations, we won't have the problems of boil orders and a hard time fixing the water system. We won't have to shut the whole village down and repair the broken pipeline that's in the middle of the block. Because we'll be able to shut the water off. We got a DECA grant, it's been approved. It's a small grant for $112,000. And that grant is to redo the streets and roads in the village, which we turned in as trees on Spalding that are right on the side of the road. There's 3 big trees there that's very dangerous. You can see them you can't see them at night when you come around Spalding, coming back toward Village Hall around the corner. We're going to remove those trees and we're going to redo Lawson Lane and try to improve the sewer storm and the street replacement. It's a small street for a small grant, and we can get the whole thing done. We also talked about putting an infrastructure in the middle of the street, a new kind of street light that would enhance the village. DECA grant, We got the Cook County Block Grant that we're gonna apply for $400,000 for the 24 year. And Invest in Cook, we're gonna try to get new roads out of that for $400,000. So we're applying for every fund that we can see that's available. ARPA funds, we have $79,284 left in the ARPA fund that Mr. McCaskill is going to give me the data that I need to reimburse the village for emergency expenditures on salaries that was used during the emergency water.
There was something else to see. Outside of the investing cook, you see, I know we gotta spend that upper fund money, but this year we need to put in for that agreement too.
Yes, we're gonna apply for it, but
Then
if you got funds sitting, they don't get the funds.
Well, it ain't gonna sit too much longer.
That's why I'm trying to get it done right now.
Spend that up on the streets quick. And, I suppose have a meeting, just let you know one day next week, I'll be meeting one of the state reps that, it's over the, streets and sidewalks and stuff like that, 'cause we was talking about curbs and stuff being put on, curbs and gutters being put on and over there on the other side of town, over here by Tima, we can get our curbs and stuff in, so I will be talking to you about that.
The
And I
CDBG
probably have
we're
either,
going after that too, remember?
we'll be going after everything.
We gotta have a system. We
Yeah,
gotta have to have.
no, but that's what I'm saying.
And so we can
you
apply
have
for
the
the
place,
correct
so we-
names.
Yeah.
And we don't wanna do duplicate work and having Robinson Engineering doing our grant work on one end and I'm doing the work on another end. That's just complicating the situation. So we're trying, the mayor has set up the idea to make sure all funding sources, the information comes through our department so that we know who's doing what and at what stage we're in it. Because all reports still have to be done through the village and whoever's signing off on grants. So those things have to be available to us. But I need to know where our audits stand. And that's the information I was gonna ask you, Mr. McCaskill. Have we gotten any other audits, any more audits, anything with the auditors there?
Tim Watson called me back today and said he's gonna give me a call. But just to let the board know, you're gonna terminate that guy. I'm just telling you because we can't keep going through this. We've been put on the back burner. So we will be looking because we gotta move quick. This guy's not doing what he's supposed to do. We ain't gonna.
So we made a promise
Can't you?
that we would have these grants done in the
Exactly.
fiscal year that we
Yeah.
said, and that promise is being
Yep.
tried
Yep.
and pushed up into a situation where it's gonna get ugly if we
Pushing
can't
us
do our
up against the
reports. And we
wall.
got too much money to play around with someone that can't get the job done in a timely fashion.
Well, we just so we clear, it's not on the village. It's 100, no, it's 3,000 sitting on the auditor. All of it, we've given them everything that's needed to get the stuff done. I don't know what the issue is, but we have given them everything, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So it's not the village, it's 100% the auditor. And so when I talked to the comptroller, I just was very polite, but stern. I said, listen, we've done our part. So maybe you guys need to sanction the audit, because we've done our part. And they've been paid.
Well, the decision has to be made by the board of trustees and the mayor to do something about this because it's our credibility.
No,
It's
bottom line, we don't go back and forth with this guy.
let's get it
That's,
taken care of. I mean,
we gotta, we
we'll
can't
get-
sit idle, think of it is, we ain't gonna be here too much longer. We gotta go. It's all to it, so. I will be bringing someone, to this board because the answer that he gave me was very unacceptable to why he wasn't done and all that other stuff. I don't wanna hear all that. Man, you sending me in circles, I ain't got time for that. You said you was gonna have these years done, and they not done. So, we're not gonna shoot around the bush with him, so we ain't even gotta waste time talking about him.
Well, didn't we bring it up before about getting someone to replace him because he was hemming and hawing about stuff? And then we were told, but we're being told now, well, we can't keep switching back and forth to different people. We need someone who's dependable, period. I mean, this is BS. This is what, the third one we've had?
Third one.
I'm sorry,
No, the same
the
model.
second one, we had one
No,
before that
same
we got
model.
rid of.
No, the
because
same
of
one.
APG
Same
and
one
this
because
one.
this the same guy. 'Cause what he was doing, he had got 17 done, which I already knew was gonna be a disclaimer. 17 was done. 18 is, I think that was, he's pretty
Still
much at the
pending.
end of 18
Yeah,
or
still
something
pending.
getting done. But that should have been done.
Is that
And
the
I'm
guy
not
that
gonna
came
be
before
sick.
us in here?
He
Never came.
No, I don't think
No.
he ever came.
He ever came, he never came.
Okay.
So we gon' I keep y'all up to par on this guy.
And on some of these, some grants that were turned in to me to kind of follow up on was, like the coastal grant, we can't apply for that, we don't have any coast that we can apply for coastal funds for. But things like that, and, matching, sometimes the matching may be a 50-50 match. If you turn these grants over to me and tell me, hey, John, look into this, make sure that we can qualify for these. And if it's a matching, you have to let us know. Because if it's a 50-50 match and we apply for $1 million, we gotta have half of that to go right with it. So some of these things may be out of character right now, but we're getting a lot of grants that we can apply for. And those grants are big enough grants, and we're looking for the 15 million that Bobby promised us. Hopefully something will happen with that. Outside of that, the land situation that I would like to bring up, and I'll be finished with my report, is the land for the information that I gave at the last meeting. I just need to know if there is any questions that you would like to ask at this time, because possibilities of us selling this and paying off the bills that we have outstanding with SSMMA and getting the funds we have. I have recommendations. I will turn those over to the mayor and to our attorney. I was looking on the one for Dick S'more's Auto Parts. I thought that the third option would be something that we should look into. It's the highest paying option, but I made a couple of adjustments. So I will send these adjustments out to the clerk so she can send that information out to everyone. But this land, we're sitting on it, and there's people that are interested in it. The other thing that we're looking at is the incinerator. We have a possible buyer for the incinerator who would like to reconstruct that, tear the smokestack down, and reuse the facility. The only thing that we are waiting on that, he offered $100 and something thousand to for your review. If you're interested and you think we should move forward, that's all we need to know. We can move forward with the possibilities of doing a development agreement with them also. We haven't heard from an offer on the pie shape cutout, LV. And so we're pending, that's pending, and we should know something by the end of the middle of next week when we have our meeting.
24.
Today, not over yet. I know.
So,
I know.
and we got people that want to purchase these
6
properties.
hours and 8 minutes. Right.
Okay.
All of that property is right on the verge of being developed, and I think we should look into it. So this information, if you have any questions or any problems or anything that you'd like to ask me about these particular offers, let us know, because we're meeting on this coming Tuesday. We're going to be meeting on it. And if there's any problems or any questions or anything, I'd like to answer those before we move forward.
Mr. Thompson,
Mhm.
the Energy LLC, did they say what? I know.
That's the smoke, that's the west side of Wood Street, that's the smoke tower. They want to, that's the chimney, the big incinerator.
Smokestack that it's the facility that LB Steel was talking about and so forth, but if LB Steel don't come through, we do an agreement with this guy here, because they ain't paying much more anyway. But then he said they can have this thing tore down in 6 months. They can have the construction start. They won't tear the whole building down, but they won't take it halfway down. And he said they had the funding to do it. So what they'll do when we sell this thing, I mean, these are the first guys that ever said they had the funding to do it, and he knew what it'd cost to get torn down and everything.
So
$2.5 million.
that's what I'm
So-
saying, that's the one where you have to do the study before you can even go just.
The study was also already done.
The study's been done on it, so in order for them to tear it down, in order for anybody to tear it down, they still, I mean, they'll get our approval, but they still gotta go through the county to pull permits for that. Cause it's gotta be, it's gotta be canvas off, you know, all around, so the smoke don't blow up like it did in Chicago and all that.
It has state approval. before
Right,
it can
they gotta have all that.
Okay, so the EPA is involved in the demolition that they're
All
going
of
to do as
that
far as
land-
covering everything up.
All this
It's a
stuff gotta be
greenfield.
involved with
And all of the land that's in the greenfield or in the brownfield
Mhm.
has to have the EPA's approval. Now, remember, right on the back end of the Wyman and Gordon building, that was that property,
Somebody dumped asbestos.
it
over
was
it.
sold to an asbestos company. And what would you sell vacant land that was clean to an asbestos company and expect them to do with it?
I
They
didn't
left asbestos out there, so the Illinois EPA
Right.
came back and said,
So-
well, that's a bad sale. So now the property, we have to have that cleared through the Illinois EPA anyway. All of this is cleared through the state of Illinois.
So the EPA is overseeing the.
They will,
work that's
before
gonna
they
be
can
done.
do any building or anything or tearing down, they have to get the EPA's permission and they'll
Get the
get.
clearance from them.
And there, it's just like getting a permit from MWRD to put in a new water line. You'll have to send them the drawings, all of the engineering, and they would approve it before they can move forward to do anything over there.
Okay, my biggest concern is that the land is not abandoned and is contaminated where it can't be used at all. And we're
It
just
can't
stuck.
be used at this point.
Well, yeah, now, but we can still do something with it.
Yes, we could sell that property. They would have, if they would buy the property, it's their property, am I right?
Put it in
Attorney?
their agreement.
100%.
And if they can't, and they have to meet the EPA standards to encapsulate it. If there was asbestos in the ground, they have to build, the only way they can build on it is if they meet the rules and regulations of the Illinois EPA. It's just like putting tanks in the ground. You have to have the fire marshal's approval before they can be, put in the ground and connected up. So all of this stuff is connected to the state of Illinois, and they'll make all of the legal approvals and everything through their agency.
Okay.
Just like the water, just like the EPA with our water system. They make the final decisions and they give us our guidelines.
What type of business would
Trucking probably. Yeah. Parking, and if they want to use the building to do repairs on it, why not? I mean, trucking is a viable, payable entity now. So if you're gonna give us the funds, it's not doing anything with it. Right now, it's a bird yard.
And then it'll be taxes too, we'll be collecting taxes.
Yeah, that's the revenue, not just that.
Right now, it's bird yard / junk.
And
people's
you
squatters
probably
going
got
in.
people in there and dogs and animals you don't know, so
Yeah, you got
that's
people
another
going
thing.
in. Especially by them taking their fence down now in the front of the state took their fence down and, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Butler, you have anything you want to say? Treasurer, HR.
I gave trustees a copy of Fred's bill. That's it.
Could I make one more
No, you
quick
need to go
statement
into,
about Fred's bill? In all honesty, we have to have the computers working. We got grants on the line, we got documentation. If nothing else, make the adjustments later, but right now, we have to get this system running. We have to. Everything is connected to the internet, everything. We can't report, I got reports that gotta be done, I can't do them unless the system is working. Whatever it costs to get this system working, we have to have it done now, immediately. I mean, the only way people can contact us with our grants and turn in revenue streams and pay us is through the internet now. It's almost like a mandate. If there's some corrections that need to be made, make them later. But make sure we get this done to keep this moving at this time. It's just, it's a no-brainer. We have to do this. Have to.
Are we gonna do the bills?
Go back.
There was, all right, we're gonna talk about
Take
it.
care of closed
Can we go to closed session? I'd ask the treasurer.
Well,
to
first
stay.
we
No, you got, citizen
Citizen comment. Do we have any citizens on there? No citizens on there. Oh, we can't? Okay, right, no citizen comment. For the record, there's no citizens comment in the audience. Need a motion and second to go in closed session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120-2, open meetings for discussion of employment, personnel, litigation, real estate, and labor issue.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Webster,
A second.
second by trustee Muse. Trustee Muse,
Yes.
trustee Webster,
Yes.
trustee McFadden,
Yes?
trustee Tyson, trustee Smith, and trustee Mitchell is absent. And Mayor, your vote is?
Yes.
And the time is
6:58.
6:58 p.m. Just stay right in.